You are listening to New Music Monday on Wycombe Sound, and I am joined now by probably my second favourite Nick. Not the first favourite, because the first would absolutely be Santa Claus. Nick, how you doing?
I'm very good, thank you very much, man. It's weird coming on and speaking to you on your show, but I'm grateful for being here, Bex.
I was just saying to Nick before I started recording that I feel like I'm interviewing my teacher right now, because I did the 100 with you, didn't I, Nick? I was your little co-host. You were my mentor. So, I feel like...
We were a dream team. We were
a good team. It was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, really, really enjoyable. And especially because, like, you know, as it's November now and as we speak, it's like raining outside, it's grey. Like, just thinking back to the 100 in the summer at the Oval, I need them days back.
But when we were going through it, it was scorching. Remember, we were like dying. It was hard.
It's just classic British mentality, isn't it? It's like in the summer, it's too hot for this, too hot. Like in the winter, it's like, get me back to the summer.
Genuinely, I remember one day at the 100, I was like, I cannot wait for winter. And now it's winter, I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? This is my fault.
I brought this on myself.
I did it. I brought it on. Anyway, how have you been? What have you been up to? You've been busy.
Yeah. Trying to stay busy, yeah. Like after the 100 finished, straight back into the football season because of the World Cup, which is on at the moment. The football season, the cricket season overlapped. So I don't know if you remember when we were doing the 100, it was just like I was trying to do Arsenal because I worked for them, and I was trying to do the Oval stuff and my radio shows all at the same time. So it was pretty crazy. But yeah, now I'm on this. For the BBC, because the BBC this year has turned 100 years old. I am on this tour at the moment where I'm in a different place every single week, going into schools and interviewing kind of people in front of the kids. So it's really busy at the moment. Like I'm leaving to go to Manchester tonight. Last week I was in Wolverhampton. The week before that I was in Leeds. The week before that I was in Luton.
Blimey.
I'm just running. Yeah, no, it's cool. It's the thing that I love about this job and this career is, and I think I told you this in the summer, is that no day is the same, really.
Yeah.
You know, and I would really struggle to do a job where I have to do the same thing every single day because my mind just doesn't work like that. So, yeah, I'm grateful to be kind of doing this and meeting loads of different new people.
Yeah, I bet. Good to be busy. Talking of new people that you've met, how is Tyson Fury?
Yeah, Tyson Fury's good. See, I forgot about that even when you asked me what I've been up to. Yeah, I interviewed Tyson Fury. Must have been about a month and a half back now, 2 months, because he's put out his charity single, Sweet Caroline, which is one of the the biggest tracks in British sporting history, really. So he's done a cover version and he's donating the proceeds to a mental health charity, which is really, really cool. But I was asked to do it by Warner Records, the record label, and when they asked me to do it, it was all hush hush. So nobody knew there was a charity single coming out. So like I weren't allowed to post about it. I weren't allowed to tell anybody about it. And I had to sign like a document to say like, you will not tell anyone kind of thing. So it was quite, when you do things like that, it's quite nerve wracking. But yeah, no, he was great. It was really good to sit down and chat to him. He's been on the bucket list for a while, to be honest, just because he's such an interesting character. I guess the only, not downside, because it was still a great conversation, I thought, but they didn't want us to talk too much about boxing. Do you know what I mean? Which is kind of his main thing, really. So like we didn't delve into it with boxing, whereas I'd love to sit down and just have a free reign, wide ranging interview with Tyson Fury. So hopefully, in the future, now that I've met him, we kind of know each other. We're not mates. Like I wouldn't ring him up.
Bezzy mates, Nick. What do you mean? Yeah, your best mates.
He would know who I am, like if he saw me in the street or whatever. So it's like I'm hoping that we can arrange something, maybe for my one extra show or just for something else.
I'm sure you can make it happen. You've put it out there now. It's in the universe.
There it goes.
Love that. So big tick off the bucket list with Tyson Fury. Who else? If you could choose any sporting person, who would be your dream person to interview?
Well, it's funny because last year I interviewed Lewis Hamilton, and he was like number one guy for me.
So you've already done it then.
Yeah. He'd been number one for my whole career.
Oh my gosh!
From when I started. But in terms of sporting stars that I've not chatted to, it's funny because being a big Arsenal fan, like I've interviewed Ian Wright, which was really really cool. And he's one of the big reasons, along with my family, of course, as to why I support Arsenal. Thierry Henry would be good, but I've seen him in interviews and he's okay. He's not great, but I think I would like to sit down with somebody like Tom Brady or
That would be
even
cool.
Tom Brady would be amazing. You know what I mean? Or Odell Beckham Jr., who is a wide receiver, used to play for the New York Giants. For me, it's a real spread. It's like people expect me to say, football or something like that, but there's so many sporting stars that I'd love to sit down with. Even like Emma Raducanu, who's somebody,
Oh my God, I love her.
quite new to it.
She's so inspirational.
The maddest thing is, right? I saw her. I don't follow her on Instagram, but how Instagram just serves you up anything nowadays. But like, she turned 20 the other day. I was like, is that a typo?
No, she's so young.
It's unbelievable. So I'd love to sit down with her. Serena Williams. Oh my God! Like the list is like. So to name one would just be, because I'm thinking of more as I'm speaking now. There's so many that I would love to sit down with because they just live extraordinary lives. Do you know what I mean? Even Harry Kane. I'm an Arsenal fan, but I'd love to sit down with Harry Kane and just talk to him. So
not Cristiano Ronaldo then. I heard he's taking interviews.
Oh my God, yeah, I forgot about him. Messi, Ronaldo, yeah. I mean, you're a Man United fan, aren't you? So
I am. So Ronaldo's a bit of a touchy subject at the moment. I shouldn't have brought that up.
I loved that interview. I thought it was great as an Arsenal fan.
Do you know what? I don't hate him for it. I think a lot of what he was saying was true, but then it probably just didn't need to be done in that way, did it?
Yeah, and also Piers Morgan, like that's the touching point for me. I'm not a huge fan. I know he's an Arsenal fan. I'm not a huge fan.
Careful, Nick, because I heard Piers Morgan does watch my stuff.
Yeah,
so
I heard he's a big fan of the show. He loves the new music that you're spinning. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan, and I just think like, if Ronaldo had done that interview with somebody else, I would have probably been a bit more engaged. But I didn't really want to give PM the clicks. You know what I mean?
I agree. Anyway, as much as I could talk about sport all day, Radio 1 Extra, you are pretty much part of the furniture there now, I would say. How long have you been there?
So in total, I've been on air since 2010. So what's that, 12 years? And I've worked there since kind of 2008. Because I used to work in production before I got a show there. So yeah, I've been there for a minute and a half, I think it's fair to say. And I'm still loving it.
So the main reason I wanted to get you on today is I usually play new music from established artists, but also up-and-coming artists, unsigned, independent. And I have had a few questions from a few people about if they were to try and get their music played on the national radio stations, how do they go about it? And I'm probably not the best person to give that advice and that information. So I thought, who better than Nick Bright? Let's get Nick Bright on the show. So if somebody was looking to break into the scene and wanted to get their music out to you guys and some of the big boy radio stations, what advice would you give them? How do they go about that?
There's a few ways that people can do it, actually. So like the most known route, I guess, is through BBC Music Introducing, which is really, really useful. So every week on 1 Extra and on Radio 1 and on 6 Music, all the pop networks, we playlist the tune directly from BBC Music Introducing. So there's a thing called the uploader. All you need to do is go to bbc.co.uk/introducing, upload your music to the uploader, and then you kind of tick what stations it might be relevant for. And then actual, and I always have to make this clear, it's not like AI, actual real people listen to the tracks. So there'll be people based at regional stations across the country, like BBC Local Radio. So normally what happens is a local station will pick up a track and then it will get support there and then it will filter through to the national stations. So that's kind of like the first port of call. And BBC Music Introducing is great anyway, just in terms of like advice and the way it supports new and up and coming artists. They have a stage at Radio 1's Big Weekend. So if you get supported by Introducing, you can actually perform at Big Weekend and stuff like that. So that's cool. And then 1 Extra more specifically, DJ Target on a Wednesday, he's got a feature called WhatsApp Wednesdays. So 1 Extra's got a WhatsApp number, and artists, they have a particular time to send in their music to the WhatsApp. and then they pick a couple of tunes direct from the messages that they're getting on WhatsApp, and they play them on the show that
That's
day.
so cool.
So yeah, so that's WhatsApp Wednesday. So you have to watch out for the post. So like, don't just spam the WhatsApp number with your song on like a random, like, I don't know, Tuesday or Monday, because it will get ignored, because it has to be in a specific time slot.
Right.
And then on my show on a Friday, because we do New Music Friday on a Friday. So from 11:30 we play, you know, new music that's dropped that day. But I always pick one tune out that someone sent to me directly to play on the show. So I've set up an email address especially for it. It's bangersforbrighty@gmail.com. You can find that email address. It's in the bio of my Twitter, in the bio of my Instagram. Send me stuff. I go through it every single Thursday night, and then I pick one out, play it on the Friday. And I always say, I don't care if you're somebody who's got no social medias, no followers on social media, no plays on SoundCloud. I don't care who you are, where you're from. All I care about is the music. So yeah, those are 3 kind of solid ways to get your music on national radio, specifically through 1Xtra anyway.
Cool. I did a panel talk once with a bunch of A&R people, and one of the guys said that before everything went digital, he was sent demos in very creative and sometimes unusual ways. One of the ways he mentioned is he got a scrapbook sent with a CD, and it was pop-up. Every page popped up, and it was all dedicated to a different track on the CD. Have you ever had anything creative or unusual sent to you to try and like get your attention?
Not as good as a pop-up. That sounds amazing. I want to know what campaign that was for. But yeah, when I first started, it wasn't quite as digital as it is now. And even now, believe it or not, even now, sometimes artists will still send stuff in to accompany a release. So I think it was Fecky, when Fecky released I can't remember what song it was. But he sent all the 1Xtra DJs like Fecky branded bottles of hot sauce.
Oh, nice!
I remember when I got sent a USB stick. Remember those? Like, are they still on? I got sent a USB stick, and I can't remember who sent it to me. So I'm sorry that my memory is not that good, especially because we get sent so much stuff. But I got sent a USB stick that was meant to look like it had been lost. It was like it looked like it had been stood on, and it was a bit broken, but it wasn't properly broken. It was meant to look like that, right?
Right.
And then you plugged it in, and it essentially was somebody's whole album. But the title of it was like Lost Files or something like that. And I thought
that is cool.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And I kind of feel like, because things have gone digital now, you've lost that a little bit. You know, it's hard to stand out when you're just sending an email with an attachment, you know, attached to it. Whereas like, if you were sending something really creative into a radio station, even if you weren't known, it was like, wow, what's this like amazing thing?
Yeah, you know, pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, there you have it, people. Send Nick something interesting and he'll play you on his radio show. Nick, who are you listening to at the moment? Is there any new artists that you think we should be listening to? Anyone you want to put on our radar?
Yeah, there's a few guys. So last week, my Brighty's banger, which is called The Tune That I Pick Out, was by a guy from Luton called Eze. And he teamed up with a guy called Gibbs. It was Eze and Gibbs, and the tune was called Tap and Go. I really liked that, to be honest. But at the moment, funnily enough, it's so topical that you asked me this question, because we are deliberating at the moment our hot for 2023 artists at 1Xtra.
Okay.
So we need to pick them, and the deadline is actually today. So I'm going to finish this call. I'm going to go and get a haircut, and then I'm going to try and pick my my hot for 2023 artists. So to answer your question, there's a few, but specifically Eze and Gibbs, really enjoyed their stuff. There's a guy called Young Saber as well, dancehall artist from the UK. Cool. Had quite a few good songs, and keep sending more. You know, that's that what I'm really impressed with actually, Bex, is since I set up, and I'm sure you know this from doing what you do on this show, since I set up that email address, there's certain artists who, like, don't get me wrong, I'll get sent like one song by an artist and then I won't hear from them again and blah blah blah. But there's certain artists whose work rate is just like through the roof. You know, they'll send me a song and it's like, even if I don't pick it, they'll send me another song and then another song and another song. And I actually really enjoy the regionality of what I'm getting sent at the moment as well, because you can often fall into the trap of thinking that like most new music artists are going to be in London and the surrounding areas, but I'm getting sent music from all over the place, man. And I really like, not even just in the UK, even, you know, a lot of like Afrobeats artists who live in various countries in Africa sending me stuff as well. So yeah, but if there's someone that I need to be onto, send me the stuff. You know,
I will do. I'll forward it on. Yeah. There we go. People, send your stuff to me and I'll send it on to Nick for you. Yeah. Very good. Right, Nick, before I let you go, I have one more question for you. Probably the most important question that I'm going to ask today. Is it coming home?
It's coming home, baby.
Woo!
It's over my shoulder right there. Bukayo Saka, Arsenal legend. He's on the horse.
Look at that.
Regal, dripped out like a knight. Of course he's coming home.
It is coming home. I mean? Do you know what? I feel like I should know better, and I probably do know better, but every single World Cup, I go into it fully believing that this is the year, Nick. It is coming home.
Well, I'm looking at it, right? I was looking at the odds, right? The betting odds, which I'm not encouraging anybody to go out and gamble, but I was just looking at the odds to see kind of who's where. And Brazil currently the favourites, right? Then it's Argentina, and then it's France. Then it's like depending on where you look, England and Spain change order. So I'm looking at it like we're top 5, right? The way I'm looking at it, anything can happen in football. I don't think Brazil are amazing. I don't think Argentina are amazing. Yeah, they got Messi and all of that, but I look at their team and I think like they're not amazing. They haven't won anything for ages.
I feel
you. Know
what
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and France have had loads of injuries. Karim Benzema has just been ruled out, the Ballon d'Or winner. So he's out of the team. So listen, it is coming home.
We've got this. It's in the bag.
This is going to be like that. Do you remember that Rio Ferdinand, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Put whatever numbers he wants on the check. I'm going to be that guy. When England don't get through the group stages, they're going to go, who's this guy?
Yeah, I'm going to share this everywhere. Remember what you said, Nick?
It was a deep fake. It was a
It's not real. It's edited. Nick, it's been so lovely to catch up with you. Thank you for coming on today and sharing your wisdom. And hopefully our paths will cross again soon.
Yeah, I'm sure they will, Bex. You know, keep doing what you're doing. You're smashing it.
Thanks, Nick.